chicken Parmesan. It is a delicious trinity of sauce, crispy chicken, and of course, lots of melty cheese. Italian-American classic. I'm gonna show you how to make it here today, right now, like immediately. When you think about chicken parm, you think about that amazing red sauce. So let's start there. We're gonna start with 1 medium onion, small diced. Run your knife parallel to the cutting board. I take the back of my knife and I run the knife straight through and run my knife straight down, and you get a nice small dice very quickly. How red do my eyes look? No matter how many times I've chopped onions, I cry every time. So I'm gonna place them in my little bowl here off to the side, way far away from me. Celery. We want to cut these down into manageable pieces. I'm ultimately looking for a small dice on all of the mirepoix, and that's going to allow the mirepoix to cook evenly. I dare anyone to come down and measure my small dice. This is very on point. For the last step of the mirepoix, I actually like to use a mandolin to get sort of these planks about 1/4 of an inch, and then I'll make matchsticks and run my knife through to create a small dice. Join the party. Happy vegetables make happy sauce. The vegetables told me that. I'm gonna use 5 cloves of garlic. I like to just give it a quick smash. And this is all gonna go through the food mill. Garlic done. The big reveal of the pot. Like all delicious things, we are starting with the aromatics, right? It's all about layering and building flavor. I like to start with a neutral oil. Today I'm using grapeseed. Call it 2 tablespoons or so. And this mirepoix here is going to start to sweat. This is like literally one of my favorite smells. I wish there was like a mirepoix candle, like burning at all times. Such a beautiful smell. 1/2 teaspoon or so of kosher salt is going to help coax those flavors and help these vegetables sweat. You want to saute or sweat this mirepoix for about 20 minutes. And we do not want this to have too much color. I really just want the essence of the carrot. I want the essence of the onion and the essence of that celery to really shine. I add my garlic towards the last part of cooking in our aromatics, just because I don't want the garlic to caramelize too much. And I want to retain a bit of that like fresh garlic flavor. Now that we have our mirepoix and garlic sauteed, I will roast the tomato paste. This is a very important step. Just scoot your mirepoix to the side. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste into the oil that's already in the pan. What happens is the tomato paste really starts to flavor that oil, and it'll actually take on this beautiful sort of deep orangey hue. Tomato paste loves to be roasted, very low and slow. This step should take a good 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So once this tomato paste has roasted in the same pot, off on its own, we're going to start to fold these ingredients together. Every step of the sauce is getting equal like love, right? It's very important to like not rush this step, right? Sauce making is a beautiful art form.
Someone loves sauce.
Oh my God, it's my Yum. Okay, so for my next step, what I like to do is add and deglaze essentially all this beautiful flavor that we created in this pot. I want to capture all of that and flavor our tomatoes. I love to deglaze with a nice, beautiful, sort of robust white wine. You don't want to use anything too sweet. Today I'm using Sauvignon Blanc, and I'm going to add about 1/4 cup to my sauce base. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. Here, get in there. Smell-o-vision. I'm going to add just a touch of salt to keep all of these flavors on the right track, right? We want to always layer in the flavor. Sauce base is looking awesome. At this point, I like to add my tomatoes. We're going to use a diced tomato for this sauce. I love using San Marzano tomatoes. They have an amazing tang to them. We're going to use 2 cans of diced tomatoes today. I see a good amount of flavor still left in here, and we cannot allow that to go to waste. And my mom might have used water to rinse out the can and pour it in. I'm actually gonna put in a little white wine. Another flavor opportunity. A couple tablespoons will do it. Yes. We want to add in our second layer of aromatics, right? We have aromatics coming from the base, coming from that mirepoix. Now we want a top layer of more aromatics coming from herbs, herbs like thyme, basil. It's gonna impart a ton of flavor. I'm also gonna add a little bit of black pepper. Love black pepper. Let's call it 2 bay leaves. I like to tie my herbs in a small bundle just to make it easy to fish them out after. So I take a little bit of butcher's twine, wrap it around, and here's the trick. Tie it to your pot. What I want to do is add some tomato puree, about 12 ounces, just to give it some viscosity, some body, and lots of flavor. I want to bring this up to a pretty solid simmer and then reduce to a very low heat, just to allow all of those flavors to marry and become one. So we're going to cover and allow this to cook for about 35 minutes. Sauce is cooked and we are ready to food mill our amazing creation. I'm going to discard my sachet of herbs because I've already pulled all the flavor out of the herbs. So I like to work in small batches when food milling our tomato sauce. So I'll just take it a little bit by a little bit, call it a cup or so at a time, and just work into a pot. Here's the deal, right? A blender is going to give you like too much of an emulsified mouthfeel. We want there to be enough texture from the vegetables and from the tomatoes to give us this beautiful body in the sauce. I mean, if you do not have a food mill, you can use a hand blender. For me, a food mill is best. I mean, you get the perfect amount of the vegetables in there along with the tomatoes. It just gives it amazing texture. Our tomato sauce has been passed through the food mill. I want to give this a little taste. Absolutely phenomenal. You can taste all of the aromatics. Really comes through lovely. It's going to add a pinch of salt. And now we can place this over a low heat just to continue cooking. Texture is key in chicken parm, right? So how do we get the texture? Crispy, delicious breadcrumbs. I like to make my own breadcrumbs. You don't have to. We're just going to simply hand tear this bread. This is a serious technique here. I mean, it's like you rip it. You can totally leave these out overnight or you can toast them, right? We're just trying to dry the bread out. You want about 16 ounces for 2 chicken parm. I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. Awesome. Bread has toasted, not a lot of color, simply dry. They've been cooled. Now I'm just gonna pulse them down to create the breadcrumbs. Separate the larger pieces of the dried bread and then repulse them down. You don't want something that's too fine because essentially what's going to happen is it'll create a batter. We want larger pieces of breadcrumbs, so that's why I sort of sift it out and it'll give us some beautiful texture. Whole chicken breakdown is like one of my favorite things to do. And this is about a 5-pound bird, which generally will feed about 4 to 6 people. With a chicken parm, generally you'll find it's like a cutlet, right? Like generally it's the breast. I actually do something unique with this chicken. I create sort of an airline, which essentially means the wing is attached. Take the wishbone out. How you do that is you apply 2 incisions on either side. And then you go through and you just give it a little pull and the wishbone comes out like Y. And then you save that for stock. I want to separate the wings, right? You can eat that. Just want to run your knife through. Then basically just want to run my knife down either side. I like to use organic chicken as much as possible. It's not because I'm bad and bougie, it's because there's less chemicals. Under here, right, we have the oyster. So make sure we grab that oyster up. Have basically half a chicken, right? It's not an airline chicken yet. What I want to do is essentially cut down the center of this thigh in a sort of L shape to expose the bone, and then I will essentially lift the meat out. And the meat really naturally just comes off, right? Don't force it. But I mean, this is an amazing way to present an old school classic dish in a new light. Right? It's a way to be more sustainable in your practices. You buy a whole chicken, you get the bones, you get a few different cuts in your chicken parm, so it makes it really interesting. And once it gets to that joint, I like to just scrape the meat off, really. So we have our deboned half chicken, but what I want to do is create an even cooking surface on this chicken. Time to take it to Pound Town. Should I say that? It's kind of a sexual reference, isn't it? What I want to do is use 2 sheets of plastic to create a more sturdy work surface. So we're going skin side down on the plastic. This chicken tender here is a little bit exposed, so what I like to do is just pull her over. Second sheet of plastic goes over. Just going to start to tap and kind of feel around, right? With the thigh, I kind of want to use this more rigid side and just start to sort of tenderize that and kind of break up those muscle fibers, because I'm essentially trying to create one even layer of delicious meats. From here, I'm going to use the flat surface, and we want to use this sort of motion of pushing and pulling away from you, right? Down and away. If your skin is like not going where you want, just pull it over, right? We want everything to be protected. It's like a little jacket, little skin jacket. Weird. I have my thigh pretty much where I want it, and I'm going to start to work on the chicken breast a bit. It has a lot less connective tissue, right? So I'm not going to be as like forceful with the chicken. Wow, I mean, this is quite the transformation, right? From whole bird, now we have this amazing even surface, very level. The thigh is slightly thinner than the breast. Air drying is a key component in a successful skin-on chicken parm. You want to make sure we're air drying the skin just a bit, call it, a few hours or overnight. Now that we have the chicken pounded out, I'm going to prepare my dredge and get ready for the cooking. When creating this dredge, we have a lot of surface to cover, so we want to use about 7 eggs. After I whisk my eggs, we want to strain our egg mixture for the dredge. And that's just going to capture anything that really doesn't belong in that beautiful egg mixture. So I like to use a nice open, even surface. And that's going to allow my chicken to have room. 1.5 cups of flour. We want to sift this flour out, right? Flour actually just sits and compacts on itself in the bag. And I want to awaken it, right? I want to get this flour going. It's like, oh, something's exciting. I'm going to be a part of an amazing dish soon. So the dredging part, I love this part. This is the most fun. What I want to do, we have our chicken, gorge, and I'm going to season the chicken, right? Remember, layering, seasoning, layering flavors, and a little bit of salt on the back. So what I like to do is take 1 hand for dry. I'll add my flour in. None of this should be rushed, right? Let's make sure that we are covering our entire chicken. So from here, I'm going to use my other hand and allow that to go into the wet, our egg mixture here. I go flour first, right, so that the egg wash has something to stick on, and then back into the flour so that we get a really nice next level crunch factor going on here. And go in with the breadcrumbs. Gigantic. Pro tip, I just dust the sheet pan with a little bit of breadcrumb just to allow it not to stick. So now we're going to fry these off in a beautiful cast iron pan. We have some beautiful neutral oil heating up, call it 350. Place this chicken in away from me, right? This is a very important part. And placing in the chicken skin side down. The chicken thigh takes a lot longer to cook. So what I like to do is actually just pierce a bit of that oil so it really gets in and cooks the chicken thigh very well. So I turn up the heat just a touch. And all those little, like this is going to be really beautifully crispy. But here, I want just a little bit more crisp. So I'll baste my oil over top, making sure to concentrate on any joint. The skin side's going to take a little bit longer to cook than the opposite side. So it's not about equal time. It's, maybe 60% on the skin side and 40% on the other side. So I might just put in a little prop here just to get that breast out of the fat, right? But I still want to cook the chicken thigh just a little bit more. What I like to do is I actually add in some herbs just on the last part. And be careful, right? This can splatter a bit. I'm actually going to use the basil for garnish. I'm going to add in some fresh thyme and some garlic. And what's happening is this garlic is pretty much frying, and I'm going to use that for garnish too. And we're good. So I'm going to pull this out. Polio, it's my favorite for this application, a great low moisture mozzarella. I'm just going to go down, make sure the cheese is very cold, and you can get some nice, fresh, shredded mozzarella. We are looking for about 2 cups of cheese. Definitely like at least a cup per chicken. And a cup for Nyesha. The build. So half sheet pan. It's all gonna come to life right here. Oh, so amazing. So I take this delicious tomato sauce, and I like a lot of sauce, but I do want to add, my sauce with intention. I want a couple pieces exposed, just so that I get some textures of crispy versus saucy. Now, lots of cheese. I really want to get some of that cheese, honestly, intentionally on the sheet pan, so as it melts, I can scoop all of that up. This goes into a broiler for about 2 minutes. You're gonna check it, you're gonna rotate it a little bit, maybe 2 more minutes. Really, we're looking just to melt the cheese here. The most epic chicken parm, if there ever was one, is right here. Jeez, oh yes. Salty parm, tiny bit of flaky salt, a little black pepper, and of course, our delicious accoutrements, right? All that amazing garlic that we put in the pan. Don't let that go to waste. That beautiful fried thyme, use that too. For more texture, the fried basil. This is a meal for one. I'm getting in here, man. This is, what a treat. Happy vegetables, made the happy sauce, made the happy chicken, made the chef happy. Wow, this is like hugging my soul right now. Beautiful, vibrant, fresh, reimagined, but classic. You think Tony Soprano would like this? Thank you for going on this chicken parm journey with me. Let me know if you make this at home. I hope you do. Until next time, enjoy your chicken parm.